What's going on, guys? So I've had this car for about 3 years now, and I've gotten a ton of questions of what's actually done to it. So in this video today, I'm going to break it down for you in 3 sections. I'm going to show you all the exterior mods, the interior mods, and all the engine mods. So for the first mod for the exterior, we have my headlight and my Foglight tint. It's been about a year since I got both my headlights and my foglights tinted. My headlights have a light smoke over them, which I got done by a local shop to me. I didn't go super dark on these, but I think it still made a pretty big difference. I went a little bit darker on my foglights, and I got the overlays from jdmfe.com. The install was pretty easy, obviously, and I think they turned out really good. So if you're looking at your foglights tinted, I definitely recommend checking out their site. So the next mod I probably get asked about the most, besides my flares, and that's going to be my custom grille. The grille itself is actually made from the grille that comes in the Forester from factory. Basically, to get the grille looking like this, all you have to do is cut the bars, unline some mesh behind the grille, and just figure out a way to attach it. I believe we just use screws, and that is about it. So if you're looking for an alternative to the JDM grille, it's going to fit the stock bumper better. I definitely would recommend looking into making your own custom grille. And if you need any pointers, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll get back to you and see what I can do to help. So moving on to my windshield tint, I normally wouldn't classify tint as a mod, but because I get asked about it so much, I figured I would add it in here and just show you guys what the percent is and then also how I feel about it. So I have a 5% SUNSTRIP at the top of the windshield that goes all the way across. And then the entire windshield is actually tinted 35%, which is a little bit lighter than my other windows because I do have 25% all around and then 15 on the back window. But I do eventually want to get 5% all around, minus the windshield, of course. It's still a good amount harder to see at night than if I didn't have the windshield tint, but I did get used to a certain extent where I don't notice it anymore. So moving on, I have a gloss black roof that I had wrapped probably about 2 years ago. As simple as it is one of my favorite things I have done to the car. And the combination of the black roof and the tinted windshield makes for some awesome photos. I do eventually want to do my roof rails in gloss black as well to match my roof. But it's not urgent because I still think it looks awesome with just a black roof and not the roof rails. But eventually in the future I will be getting that done. So moving on back to the front end, we have my Importology Lip. This is a great option if you want to keep the stock bumper like I did, but also make it more aggressive. I'll have to double check, but I believe you can find this on eBay, and I think there's a couple other sites that carry it too. And also gives you the option to run an actual lip beneath it, which brings me to the next mod, which I paired with the Importology Lip, and that is going to be my 06 to 07 STI Lip. I'm sure some of you have seen this combination, or maybe you're running it yourself. The lip is super durable as well. I've had it on the car for literally 3 years. I do have one crack in the lip from, as many of you know, I got in a wreck probably about 6 months ago when my entire wheel fell off on the highway. So my car is literally driving on the lip, going like 6 miles an hour. So it actually makes sense that that happened. And I thought that it was going to do more than just break it in that one spot. So I'm pretty impressed. Other than that, I would definitely recommend this lip to anyone who's looking for a lip that fits your Forester without having to do a whole lot of trimming. So moving on to probably the most significant part of the car is going to be my flares. These flares are actually not meant for a Forester, they're meant for a WX STI from the 04 and 05 body style, which I believe are the blob eyes. So with these, you can find them on importimageracing.com. They have a ton of options on there for pretty much every single body style of Subaru, except for Foresters obviously, which is why I went with the blob eye flares, but I'm sure you can probably make other ones fit like the bug eyes. Some of the other blob eye ones on there probably fit too. But to make these fit, it was only some minimal trimming. It was mainly around the gas door so I could actually open it, and the front and the back of the flare so that when I turned, my tire did not hit the fender flare. Not everyone's gonna have the same issue as me because I went with a pretty big tire size, which I'll get to in a minute. But you can still make these work really easily if you just trim the gas tank and go with the smaller tire size if you don't want to trim as much on the back and the front of the flare. So with the flares, to achieve the fit that I wanted to, I ended up getting Cosmis Racing XT006R wheels in 18x11 plus 8. I'm sure some of you are familiar with my old setup where I had 18x10 plus 25 wheels. So these wheels are a little bit wider than my old setup, and they also have more concave and a bigger lip. So I decided to go with the gunmetal finish, which I think complements the car really well and just gives it an overall clean look. I've been thinking about powder coating them a different color in the future, maybe some type of black or just a gray, I don't even know. But I don't know. I think for now, I think it looks really good how it is, and I don't really want to mess with it at least for another 6 months. So as I mentioned before, I went with a pretty big tire size with these. I have 275/40/18. I've never really been a huge fan of stretch tires unless you're bagged and you want a fender to lip or something like that. Especially for this car, I think that the Meteor setup just fits it really well. And I think that when you can see the tires sticking out from the car when you're looking at it head on or just other angles from the front, I think it makes it look really aggressive, as you can see by these photos, which is why I only used half the flare instead of the full flare in the front, because then it would cover the tire, and that's just not my style. So moving on, we have a couple of parts I had custom made, and that's gonna be my side skirts, the side winglets, and also my diffuser. This is actually my second diffuser and set of side skirts from the same guy, and I'm hoping that we can do a third set maybe in the spring or something, then release it to the public, because I'm sure as many of you have found out like I did, there's not a huge aftermarket for aero parts for Foresters. So hopefully by the summer or maybe the end of spring we can get some actual Forester side skirts and diffusers that will fit perfectly on any SG Foresters, and then probably some other models in the future. I have heard that some Impreza side skirts and diffusers do fit on Foresters, but once again, kind of like my flares, you're gonna have to trim them down a little bit to make them fit, or at least look how you want them to. So one of the last exterior mods that we have is my spoiler. The spoiler is actually the OEM spoiler, but it did not come on the car when I got it. Although it's a super simple mod, I think it changed the look of the car a ton, and I definitely am glad that I did it. I do eventually want to paint match it, but for now I think the black looks fine because I do have some other black accents on the car. But I still think it would look a little bit better if it was paint matched, so in the future I am probably going to do that. So the last exterior mod I have for you guys is something super simple, but I think it changes the look of the car a whole lot and makes it look a lot cleaner, and that is going to be the Cobb wiper delete. As simple as this mod is, it is still one of my favorite mods that I have on the car. I noticed that 90% of the time, maybe even 95%, I'd never use my rear wiper. Because I was used to not using the rear wiper anyway, adding this mod didn't really affect me at all, and I definitely would recommend getting one if you're looking to make the back end of your car a little bit cleaner. So moving on to the interior, I really haven't done a whole lot in there, but I do have a few things that I will show you. The first thing is going to be my STI shift knob. So obviously the car is not an STI, but honestly the look and feel of this shift knob is perfect. So I'm probably going to keep it on the car for a while unless I find a cooler one or I have another reason to change it. Moving on to the next mod, we have my GLOWSHIFT boost gauge. This thing was pretty inexpensive, but I don't really need anything serious because I'm not pushing a lot of boost. So it does get the job done for the most part, but it is not perfect. One thing I've noticed is that over time, especially when I'm getting into boost, it'll fall down, which is kind of annoying. But I feel like it's one of the situations where you get what you pay for, so I'm not super mad about it. But that's going to be it for the interior, so moving on to my engine and my exhaust. So the first mod is going to be my VF39 Turbo. This and the VF48 are really popular turbos to throw into the Forester, as they only need a few modifications to make them work. I do currently have a boost leak, but without the boost leak, I was able to get around 17 pounds with this turbo. So if you're looking to upgrade your TD04, the VF39 and the VF48 are great options. Next up, we have my AEM intake. There's not a whole lot I can say about this intake, but it has been really good to me over the entire time I've had it on the car. So if you are in the market for an intake for your Forester, this is a great option. So next up, I have a Catless STI Up-pipe, as well as STI headers. Both of these really change the sound of the car for the better, especially with my exhaust system, which is going to start with an Invidia Catless downpipe. I've had this downpipe for a little over 2 years now, and I still like it as much as when I first bought it. Next up, I paired the downpipe with the Turbo XS Catless Midpipe and a Spec D Muffler. I do like the sound of the exhaust, however it's super loud, so I'm probably going to switch it up pretty soon here. So the last mod that I have are my ISC N1 Coilovers. These coils have been really good to me with very little issues over the 3 years they've been on the car. In my opinion, these coils are great for any build style, no matter what you're going for. I definitely check them out. But that's going to be it for this video, so if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. But once again, thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next video.